name is Katie De Leon. I'm the head of Human Resources and Consumer Affairs. What I noticed during our payroll is that my compensation and benefits specialist would always wait for all the branches to submit their timekeeping. It takes a lot of effort for him to consolidate everything, and especially it's like a waiting game for us. All the forms are filed manually. I really wanted to streamline the process and at the same time make it more efficient. When I saw Sprout, it's actually more affordable for us, and it really suited the local setting.
Our payroll process more on manual talaga. So we use biometrics sa ating mga branches. Ngayon, so medyo hassle kasi every payroll cut-off, we have to download all the attendance of the employees there in the branches. Ayan, I have to request pa sa payroll namin. Once na kulang yung attendance ng employee, they can easily file the form na po talaga like certificate of attendance to certify na pumasok sila nung araw na yun. Unlike before na more on ano talaga, manual.
This last payroll namin, so nag-start ako ng Sunday, and then Monday, tapos na ako.
Sprout really helped us with the technology during pandemic. It's actually the perfect timing for us to migrate because when it was during the lockdowns, of course, people wouldn't want to do biometrics, right? It helped also in the process of adapting to the situation because everyone was going digital at that time. It was a huge leap or a huge step for us to make, but I think it's worth it.
Welcome to State of HR 2023. My name is Patrick Gentry. I'm the CEO of Sprout. I grew up in Southern Oregon on a farm, but I made my way to the Philippines in 2008. And a few things struck me right away coming here. First, the resiliency and work ethic of the Filipino people. Seeing that was seeing all the people in our office getting up, commuting 2 hours, working 9 or 10 hours, and then commuting 2 hours again, and doing that every day. It's very impressive, and that struck me right away.
So I've been doing the State of HR for 4 years now. And interestingly enough, we were able to predict various trends. We were able to predict the Great Resignation even before the Great Resignation happened. And so, the State of HR would provide you with valuable insights regarding this. Now, more than ever, opportunities are everywhere. It's no longer an employer-centric world, but an employee-centric world. So now, employees have more options. And so the opportunities have become more open, not only here in the local scene, but also externally. Externally, more and more people are doing freelance works because they demand flexibility in the workplace already.
We're also adding this year, for the first time, awards to businesses who are having exceptional work practices, whose attrition rates are the lowest in their field, whose employee engagement is the highest in their field. So we're very, very excited to have you guys out today.
Positive employee experience, because we always say that Employee experience will define whether your employee, your workers will stay with you or will leave you for another company.
Interestingly, 2023, 48% said that support from company management is a key factor to HR success. And what we found out in our white paper is that HR professionals do not feel empowered enough. They do not feel that they have a seat in the table.
You'll agree with me as HR practitioners na kung gusto natin pagandahin ang proseso, we have to dignify inputs from the ground level. You have to listen to inputs from the ground where rubber meets the road, who are the people at the thick of the real service encounters. That way, you dignify their inputs. That way, they feel ownership.
And through the data we've been able to generate, we were able to convince management that hybrid is the way to go for security bankers. And so we're hybrid. I see my one downs twice a month. I don't have to see them every day. We come in for a purpose. It's been working for us, and I think that's the way to go.
In 2015, we started Sprout with the simple goal of automating timekeeping, payroll, and 201 file management. We spent a lot of time talking about it and thinking about it, and ultimately, what came out of that is Sprout's North Star. So Sprout's North Star is to impact the life of every Filipino by improving business in the Philippines. Fast forward to today, Sprout is now the largest HR technology company in the Philippines. From 201 file management and timekeeping and payroll, we're now an ecosystem of tools to enable automation of a myriad of workflow processes inside organizations in the Philippines.
Again, we dare say in Sprout, hybrid is still the future of work. And that's because hybrid is still built on trust and freedom on the employee side. But to sum it all up, I just want to say that the past dictates the present and the present dictates the future. And so with the state of HR, I hope that we'll be able to unleash the workforce passion and potential. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in such great numbers to support, to learn, and thank you very much for our sponsors for making it possible. So thank you everybody for coming. Welcome to Sprout State of HR 2023.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to today's webinar on transforming the employee experience, the impact of automating HR processes. In this session, we will explore how organizations can leverage digital transformation to enhance their HR processes and improve the overall employee experience. My name is Mai, and I will be your host for today. As workplaces are now becoming more employee-centric, it is now crucial for organizations to streamline their HR processes and provide a seamless experience for their employees. By automating routine activities, organizations can focus more on engaging key talent and creating a positive onboarding experience for new hires. But the question is, where do we start? But before we get started, let me talk a little bit about Sprout. Sprout Solutions is the largest homegrown B2B software as a service company in the Philippines and the most trusted end-to-end provider of HR and business solutions. We are here to help Philippine businesses grow through our ecosystem of HR, business, and AI-powered solutions that prepare organizations for the future of work. If you guys want to learn more, check out this video.
Are you spending too much time on payroll? Are you unable to spot the root causes of attrition? With the right system, you can hire the right talent. Pay your employees on time, track their performance, and focus on career development. So let go of manual work and embrace digital transformation. Build a stress-free environment and empower your employees to perform at their best. Choose Sprout to improve and automate every stage of the employee lifecycle so you can focus on what matters. Our customer success team will provide a seamless onboarding experience. Sprout's tailor-fit solutions address common HR pain points of Philippine businesses. Let us support you in your journey to digital maturity. With positive reviews and global recognitions, Sprout continues to impact the life of every Filipino by improving businesses in the country. Join over 1,000 organizations that have transformed their businesses and empowered their people. Let Sprout innovate and transform your core business infrastructure, ensure your employees' financial health, and reimagine the concept of total wellness, because that's what great employers do, and great employers use Sprout. Start your journey with Sprout today.
Okay, I hope you learned more about Sprout from that video. And if you enjoy webinars like this one, please follow us on social media at Sprout HR Tech and keep an eye out for brand new episodes. Later on, we will have a fireside chat session where you can ask our speaker anything about the topic. To send in your question, just click on the Q&A tab. You'll see at the bottom of your screen, and please start thinking about your questions now, and we'll answer as many of them as we can later on. Okay, all right. I hope you guys are ready. Let's kick things off with our first session. Our first speaker is part of the leadership team for Dole Philippines under the Fresh Produce Group. As the director for HR and people support, she is the key driver for all efforts to advance HR and ancillary strategies and priorities. She advocates coaching and mentoring to create an innovative, inclusive, and collaborative work culture. Her leadership brings strength to the organization by ensuring that human resource practices and objectives help build, enhance, and leverage the capabilities and performance of people to support business strategy and priorities. These reinforce initiatives in advancing efforts to cultivate an environment that creates value to all stakeholders. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming the Director of Human Resources and People Support of Dole Philippines, Ms. Sharon Binwag Villalon.
Good morning, everyone. Maayong buntag sa tanan. Good morning from Davao, and we welcome you to this HR Experts seminar sponsored by Sprout. My name is Shao, and I am from the Human Resources and People Support Department of Dole Stanfilco. Dole is a 30,000 strong company. In Fresh Produce Group, where we belong, we are 22,000 in the workforce. So that gives you an idea of how big, Dole really is, aside of course from Dole being a very strong brand name. So this morning, we will be sharing with you the impact of automation in HR. This is a journey that we are continuously embarking on at Dole. And we would like to share with you our humble experiences, ensuring that we engage with our employees and that their experience with HR is amplified because of automation. So this morning, okay, we have the following agenda. So we will look at how automating HR, okay, has improved employee experience, the effects of it for employee in employee experience, the Dole journey, challenges and considerations, and how to implement, okay, automation and measuring success. I would like to remind everybody, however, that one journey does not necessarily equate to success in another company. So it's important to note that for every intervention that we do, especially on HR processes, it should be tailored fit or custom fit to, the organization that you belong to. Now, these are best practices and sharings of things that we have done that have worked for us. And hopefully, in this process, you can learn from us. Okay. All right. So let us go through how digital transformation, okay? Let us go through how digital transformation in Dole, okay, and the HR process in general, okay, impacts employee experience and the significance of HR automation in the modern workplace. So we all know that digital transformation, the era for digital transformation, has brought about significant changes in the way organizations operate, especially during the pandemic, no? And human resources is no exception to this. Automation has become, of course, a key driver in streamlining HR processes and enhancing the employee experience. Okay, so this morning we will explore the impact of automating HR process on both HR, okay, department and employees. Now, automation, of course, can significantly enhance the employee experience by freeing employees from mundane tasks. These take up a lot of our time in HR, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me on that. Enabling self-service options, improving communications, reducing errors, which is, of course, very, very important, and providing value data-driven insights. One of the things that has worked for Dole is making sure that we use automation to give us data-driven insights, okay? When leaders have informed choices based on facts and data, you can never go wrong. So when implemented strategically, automation can create a more efficient and engaged and satisfied workforce, which, ultimately benefits both employees and the organization. Now, before we go further, let me just caution everyone between the different on the difference of digitalization and automation. A lot of people interchange digitalization and automation. So digitalization is simply is simply the process of converting anything in hard copy to a digital format. So let's say you have a process on filing a leave, for example, okay? If you were doing it manually and on paper before, okay, you're digitalizing it, okay, if you use now, okay, a digital form, okay, to file your VL or your SL. That is not yet automation. Normally, when you just transfer your process from paper to a computer format or a digital format, that's digitalization. However, when you streamline your process and you use automation and you use the digital form, right? Now it leverages your device or your software and relies on a series of rules written by business subject matter experts, okay, to accomplish tasks with very minimal human intervention. Therefore, it is not prone to human error, right? So next slide, we'll talk about, okay, what are the challenges in manual HR practices? Can I just briefly see a show of hands for the participants who were still using at least majority of their HR functions on manual form? Anybody? Or lahat ba naka-automate na lahat? Okay. Manual. Manual. I see some people saying they're still using manual. Anybody else? Manual. Wow, medyo madami pa. Okay, so there's still quite a lot using manual. So let's see what are the challenges when we use manual processes in our HR practices, and let me know if you're experiencing the same thing. Okay. First one is very time consuming, right? You fill up a form, you use the pen and paper, etc., and then you go to the person, you file, right? May konting chika-chika o may tanong-tanong, etc. Okay, so it's very time consuming because routine tasks like data entry, payroll processing, and leave management consume vast amounts of time and takes up productivity man-hour from people in the office. Okay. Second, okay, it's very error prone because there's human intervention. Manual data entry is prone to human errors, which can be costly and time consuming to rectify. Okay. So let's say, for example, you have a headcount report that you would want to submit to the leadership team or the Mancom or the Execom. Okay. Imagine if 400 became 4,000. Right? Or imagine if 152 FTEs become 15, 20. Okay. So there's a lot of instances where human intervention normally in data entry becomes error prone. Okay. And this becomes very costly because the leaders who receive this report, okay, usually rely on the reports from HR. Okay, there are also scalability issues in manual processes, okay, because this becomes a significant obstacle as organizations grow. So when you use manual, okay, when you use manual processes in your HR department, normally there's no room to grow. Okay, there's no scalability. Okay, because it's manual, no, there's nothing to anchor on. It just goes on a day-to-day basis. The improvement will only come from how fast you do it or how slow you do it, and the turnaround time only becomes one. Okay, one of the very few that you can scale on. Last one is compliance concerns. Now, HR must remain compliant with labor laws and regulations, which is a challenge when handled manually. Okay, our 201 files, for example, a lot of very mature and those organizations who actually budget for this type of HRIS system already have their 201 files, their MTEs and NDAs, even medical findings stored, okay, in the HRIS, and are given digital copies to make sure, you know, that they have the correct copy when leadership looks at these. In manual, when we file it by paper, it's very prone to storage effects, like, you know, like force majeure or are very friendly insects, okay, and rats inside the storage area and stuff like that, okay. Although, of course, we don't discount the importance of still having physical copies, okay, of these documents in our files. Now, next one, we'll show you actually how automation enhances employee experience, because by streamlining processes and reducing administrative burdens and fostering a more productive and engaging work environment, HR becomes more efficient in the daily works that it does. Now, here are several ways where automation can positively impact employee experience, one of which is efficiency and time savings. As opposed to a manual process in HR, when we automate, we become more efficient and we save time. Now, time of course dictates efficiency, and it eliminates time-consuming and repetitive tasks such as data entry, time tracking, and document handling. Employees can focus on more meaningful and strategic work, leading to increased job satisfaction, because there is elimination of tasks that are repetitive and mundane. People can now leverage up to doing work that creates more job satisfaction. You see, in HR, we always say we can't just be transactional. We have to be transformational. And so one of the things that lead to HR being a transformational strategic business partner to our organization is, of course, automation by saving time and making us more efficient. Okay. Another one that works for a lot of companies engaging in automation is your improved onboarding. This is, of course, anchored on your learning management system. In Dole, we are anchoring our onboarding on a learning management system that we are continuously building and recreating. Okay. Now, an automated onboarding process ensures a smooth and consistent experience for new employees. Remember, when a new employee comes in, the experience on day one, okay, is the experience on day one reverberates until he becomes regularized. The most motivated person is the person on his first day, okay? And we have to make sure as HR, we give him the best onboarding experience. Para naman hindi niya isipin, tama ba na dito sa kumpanya ito na pumasok ako, okay? So this onboarding experience that the new hire will go through with HR, okay, with an automated HR onboarding, okay, will essentially ensure that they have the best experience, okay, that they can anchor on during their first to 3 months. Now, new hires can also complete paperwork, training, and orientation tasks online, reducing the stress of first days at work. Okay. I remember on my early days while I was working, please don't do the math how old I am. On my first day at the job, on my first job, no, after I graduated from UP, they asked me to sign a very thick pile of documents, you know, for the bank, for your personal information, for nauso na ang NDA noon sa amin eh. And because I was with the finance group. My first job was as executive assistant to the first vice president of a big financial corporation. So there were a lot of things that I would need to sign. Of course, until now, banks would need the physical copies, okay? And we can't do without signing physical copies when we enter and we join a corporation. But there are some things that probably we can streamline that make it more less stressful, okay, for new hires when they join. Now, another one, okay, is self-service capabilities. When you automate, essentially, there are a lot of self-service portals that you can create. I'm a big fan of low-code apps. And I've asked one of our HR staff to study low-code apps. He's doing Tableau also right now for HR dashboard that we're still continuously trying to improve. Now, automation allows employees to access and update their personal information, their benefits. We have FlexBen also in Dole that allows people to determine how they want their FlexBen allowances to be used, and time off requests through self-service portals. This empowers employees to take control of their HR-related tasks, okay, improving their overall experience. There's nothing more empowering for an employee than to experience automation that allows them options to choose for themselves, customized to what it is that they need, either personally or professionally. Okay, and automation allows us to do that and actually helps us a lot to do that. Okay, now another one, okay, and the more obvious, I think, of all the reasons to automate and increase employee experience is the faster response time. More often, more commonly known as turnaround time, no? Automated workflows and ticketing systems ensure that HR requests and inquiries are addressed promptly. Again, let me just have a very, very short survey here and a show of hands. Who among you have automated systems for HR complaints and concerns or feedbacking systems? mga feedbacks, ganyan. Is it automated now or do you still use the, what do you call this? The box, right? Okay. SAP ticket, yes, one of them. Okay. Ano pa? So that's essentially part of automation already, Erica, when you say you have a SAP ticket, okay? SAP ticket. Sino ang gumagamit pa po dito ng feedbacking system na yung suggestion box? Yung may lock pa na malalaki, tapos magsusulat yung employee sa maliit na papel, ilalagay nila sa box. Si John Claire daw, naka-box ba? Suggestion box. Wow, QR code. That's nice, QR code. Okay? Sino pa po ang naka-box pa? Okay? So, okay, appear ang mga naka-box, okay? This is good, okay? This is also good having a box like that, no? However, it's of course prone to having it opened by somebody who has every intent of, you know, pag praning na praning yung leader mo, naku, baka sinusumbong na ako ng mga tao, etc. I want to see system for grievance, for example, like a QR system, it becomes more confidential, okay? And the veracity of and the data, okay, is actually protected, okay, against external manipulation. So employees receive quicker responses to their questions and concerns, which enhances their satisfaction. So you see, pag naka-feedback, feedbacks kasi ang tawag namin sa DOL, sa mga ganyan yung iba. Pag naka-wooden box pa tayo, so it takes time to collect, di ba? Hindi naman yan normally kino-collect on a daily basis. O aminin, normally ginagawa yan nga weekly, di ba? So nagiging delayed yung pagbasa ng mga kailangan na i-act upon, and this delay usually becomes dissatisfaction for people who submit their concerns. Okay, so another one is data-driven insights, which I think is one of the more important, okay, reasons why automation enhances employee experience. Okay. Automation, of course, generates valuable data and analytics, and it helps organizations make informed choices about employee engagement and performance. Now, personalized insights can lead to tailored solutions for individual employees or teams. Later on, I will be sharing with you our journey on how we automated our performance management system and how the PMS, when it's automated, helped a leadership assessment curriculum to be able to identify succession planning and the individual development plans that came with all of these. Now, we wouldn't have been able to do that without individual and tailored fit solutions for automation, okay, requiring employees to go through, you know, this exercise. Now, another one is feedback and performance management. As I earlier mentioned, it can facilitate continuous feedback process and performance appraisals. Now, in DOL, we do performance appraisals once a year, but next year, we will be doing it twice. We believe that performance appraisals should not be only done once a year and then forgotten the rest of the year. We aim to have our performance appraisals on a more conversational way of doing it with their heads, okay? So that every time it's recorded and every time they have an avenue to discuss, okay, whatever concerns the employees have. Now, all of these are made possible simply because we automated our performance management system, okay? Now, regular data-driven feedback can help employees set and achieve their goals, contributing to their growth and development. In DOL, in Stanfilco, for the fresh produce group, it's very evident that the performance management system is 70%, company goal and 30% employee goal. So that kind of back of mind thinking, for example, when transformed into automation, will have to yield numbers, okay? So if you're on the agriculture side, for example, of Dole, you'll have to make sure that you have your volume boxes, how many boxes per man hour do you have, right? How many men per hectare do you require? So these are all numbers that are fed through the system, and automation helps us understand what these numbers are and helps us to interpret what kind of numbers, okay, we want to achieve. Now, it also helps in payroll and benefits management, okay? Obviously, we don't want Excel when we do payroll, okay? It's easier to have a system for payroll and benefits management. Now, streamlined communications is also one of the things that help where automation can help employee experience, enhance employee experience. Why? Because it aids in delivering important announcements, reminders, and other communications to employees. Right now, Dole uses SharePoint, for example, and chat groups. However, there is a very grand plan to use a I can't mention the program, the system yet, not the app, but it's a very Facebook type. It's very similar to the Facebook type app. So I know a lot of you know what system I'm talking about. So that's the grand plan, okay, for us to use so that we heighten employee engagement. Everybody knows how to use Facebook, no? So if you mirror this to a communications platform, okay, especially for Dole, and we use that kind of platform that everybody's familiar with, we are anticipating a very steep increase in employee engagement, okay? Now, task automation is also one of them. I'm very fond of using Asana, for example, where I can assign tasks to people, okay, and make sure and can follow up on things that they've already done without me needing to call them to the office, ask them what they're doing on a daily basis, which take up a lot of time, okay? Now, reduced error rates, okay, again, minimizes human errors in the data entry and processing, which can have a significant impact on employee experience, particularly in terms of compensation and benefits administration. I guess one of the most tangible proofs of how automation enhances employee experience is when you reduce errors, especially in terms of payroll, okay, and benefits. Imagine if you have error in payroll and benefits and it significantly affects, you know, not just one, but a number of people when you process your payroll. Okay, kung mas tataas yan, if the amount increases, then probably that's good, right? Nobody will complain. But imagine if you have an error in compensation and benefits because you're doing manual payroll and benefits, for example, compensation and benefits, and the amount decreases from 10,000 to 1,000, okay? The domino effect of an employee's dissatisfaction because of this error is will equate to a lot of man hours trying to make sure that this is done correctly. And yet, on a manual way of doing it, you really can't guarantee that mistakes like this will not be repeated because, you know, it has human intervention. Now, also, career development is one of the things that help enhance employee experience that is due to automation. Okay, it can facilitate employee development by identifying skill gaps and recommending training and advancement opportunities. Now, employees are more likely to feel engaged and invested in their careers if they map out, if they are part of the mapping out of their career path. Okay, when we do learning management systems in Dole, for example, and we have a training journey, okay, that is part of an individual development plan, people get to choose what kind of journey, okay, they want to go through. Now, say for example, if I have a training manager, the leveraging of the training manager, of course, the next elevation would be a training director. And so if he chooses this type of path in the learning management system, that we roll out, then he would see, you know, the types of trainings that he would go through, the timelines, and the expected, okay, measures of success of this intervention. Would he be ready to take on a directorship role in 1, 2, 3 years? If not, if it's 3 to 5 years, how else can we help this employee fast track, okay, his learning initiatives? Now, as I said, we will be sharing with you quite a few things that we do in Dole, okay, in our leadership, in our automation journey. I'm sorry, I cannot share with you a lot of numbers. Dole is owned by, of course, a Japanese corporation, and all of these numbers have to go through the clearance of our leaders before we share it in public, no? But these are the automation experiences for Dole right now. Some, of course, everything, of course, is still a work in progress always to make sure that this is adaptable. Automation tools and technologies that corporations use. There's the HRIS, the ATS, the applicant tracking system, the payroll software, chatbots, okay, are considered automation already because it now has the capability, you know, to give you a choice of choice or options, okay, for specific HR queries that people may have. Now, when using the latest technologies for data-driven decisions, normally, me as a leader, I use HR analytics, predictive analytics, and sometimes, to a certain degree, AI. Okay? Now, sino na ba sa inyo ang may AI sa kumpanya? Can I see a show of hands for those who are now using AI in their companies? Or at least, you know, partly using AI? Meron ba? Wala pang gumagamit ng AI sa mga kumpanya. Why? Is it because it's expensive? Sige. Okay. Now, when we do HR analytics, you know, we can analyze employee data to gain insights into performance, engagement, and retention. This data can inform, can help us decide on strategic decisions. Okay, Dole is very data driven. As I've said, we have a very large workforce, and this data that we have in HR help us determine, let's say, on a historical basis, okay, what we do with excess manpower if we have in certain farms that we cover, or how do we optimize our people based on the manning requirement, the fill rates that we have from third parties, etc. All of this come into play when we do HR analytics. Okay. Now, predictive analytics uses historical data to forecast future HR trends. When doing predictive analytics, for example, it's important that you have verified data from the past. Okay. That's one of the caveat here. When you do analytics, and whether it's predictive or HR analytics, you have to make sure that data is verified. That's very important. Okay. Now, this can be a game changer for talent acquisition, succession planning, and workforce management, especially workforce management. There's a new app that I'm trying to talk to, because one of the trends right now in talent acquisition is the determination of whether or not a particular applicant, okay, will stay with you for quite some time. And we know that cost per hire is very important to know in our organization. So are we investing, okay, in the right person? Baka naman after 3 months, umalis na ito, lugi tayo, triname na't lahat, lalo na kung vice-presidente yan, no? Okay, so these are the types of automations that we can go through. Now in Dole, okay, in Dole, let me share with you, okay, this is what we call our DPMS. This is our performance management system. Pasensya na sa mga pangalan. This is of course a a dummy that we used, no? But this is exactly how it looks like for our performance management system. This is still annual appraisal. As I've said, we still do annual appraisal, but we're going to transfer to a biannual type of appraisal for our DPMS. Now, it's very clear there what goals, okay, the employee has to achieve, what core competencies we want the employee to have given the core values of DOL, okay, what behavioral tendencies we want these people to have, okay. Now, in general, all of these, of course, are supported by numbers, either given by finance or supplied by their department heads. Now, when we did performance appraisal, it was also, okay, it was also paralleled with leadership assessment, okay? Now, there is an app that we use to determine the tendencies of our leadership, okay, in the organization. Now, this will also, I'm sure you're all familiar with the 9-box grid, no? So, we have developed, there is an app that we use to determine if this person is already, you know, our consistent star, our future star, our diamond in the rough, okay? And we always do this with our leadership team, okay? When I arrived, this was one of the things that I said we had to do with leadership, part of the organizational diagnostic that I did with Dole when I joined them. So this leadership assessment now dictates our succession planning, because if the app says that this person is ready in 1 to 2 years, the individual development plan for this person, of course, will have to be tailored fit to what it is that he needs for him to be ready to take on, okay, the succession planning and so forth, okay? This also gives us an idea of what it is that we need to help the employee on, okay? Now, next one, when we do the individual plan, of course, okay, we anchor it on our learning management system, which is also, you know, automated, because the AI in this learning management system helps us determine the tendencies of that leader or that employee, and then it helps us, okay, the AI helps us also determine what types of training programs we need this leader to undergo. Now, the Percipio that we use in Dole is a platform that gives us both internal curricula and external materials, okay, that we can consolidate and come up with a training journey that we use for everyone. Now, because the training man hours is part of our performance management system, it is imperative for everyone in Dole, okay, each employee has that learning management system journey that they have to go through for the year, okay? Now, next one, please. Okay. Now, when doing, okay, now I will be the first to admit that when you do automation, okay, it doesn't come with it's not a rosy day every day. It comes with a lot of, you know, challenges and considerations. Although it has a lot of benefits, no, it's not without challenges. Now, here are some of the common challenges when you automate processes in your HR. Number one, and I think everyone will agree to this, is resistant to change, okay? Dole is a 55-year-old company. Stanfilco is a 55-year-old company. We're celebrating our 55th anniversary this November. Now, our demographics is more on men, okay? 65% of our demographics are men, 50 to 59 years old. So you can just imagine the resistance, okay, to automation at the first onset when this was rolled out. Oh, hindi ako marunong mag-mobile, hindi ako marunong gumamit ng ganyan, ng ganito, ganyan. So there needs to be a lot of you know, training and seminar and change management. Communication toolkits that had to be rolled out so people would understand that this is not, okay, a cost-cutting measure, but actually a measure, okay, or an intervention to help optimize, okay, people, to make sure that we are still agile, we are productive, and we are efficient. Okay, overcoming this resistance through effective change management is very critical. Now, also, data privacy and security, okay, means handling sensitive employee data in an automated system. When a new HRIS is rolled out, no, and you transfer from manual to automated service, okay, that transition is very important. It's very how do you term this? Sometimes it becomes controversial. Bakit? Kasi papel, okay? Tapos i-encode niya lahat ng nandoon. Ma'am, lahat na lang nalaman niya tungkol sa akin. Okay? Alam niya na may ganito akong bahay. Alam niya kung saan ako natira, etc., nakatira, etc., etc. So, you see, when handling information, especially now that we have data privacy laws, it's very important to choose who in your HR will handle these specific types of information, okay, so that when there is leak, it's very easy to, to mitigate. Now, also, compliance with data protection regulations, okay, is very, very essential. Okay, another issue that at least, from my personal experience we faced when rolling out automation is integration issues. Many organizations have existing HR systems and tools that need to be integrated with a new automation solution. Now, ensuring seamless integration can be complex and time-consuming. That's why at the very onset, I already mentioned scalability. When you come from a bossy system of payroll and you want to leverage it into a Workday or a success factor, that data integration and migration is very important, okay? If the systems do not marry and they do not talk to each other, we have a very big problem on integration issues. So you will have to collaborate with your IT team to make sure that this transformation is seamless, okay, for everyone. Now, I think the biggest concern when corporations or organizations automate is the cost, okay? Automation, yes, comes with a premium. But this premium, I guarantee you, will help people become more productive, okay, and efficient. Now, how you justify cost to your management should be anchored on, one of the things that you can anchor it on is, enhance employee engagement, especially, okay, these are what I use not to justify automation, especially number one, reduction of errors. And number two, the turnaround time, okay, in response to dissatisfactions and the grievance mechanism. So that brought out the bought-in of leadership that, yes, we needed to automate, okay? Now, for leadership to see that, this is not a cost but an investment, okay? It has to be anchored on what really works for your organization. What do you prioritize? Okay, is it quality? Is it employee engagement? Is it industrial relations? So you'll have to anchor on your automation request cost, okay, to the goals, okay, the goals of the corporation. Now, customization, configuration, data migration, especially maintenance updates and vendor reliability are also some of the challenges that people face when they automate. Sometimes, some apps and systems are very good doing sales talk, no? Ma'am, ito maganda itong system namin, etc., etc. Pag na-install na, hindi mo na mahagilap. Wala nang after sales. I need to caution you on these types of apps and systems that you meet along the way, and you'll have to be really very diligent, okay, doing your due diligence to make sure that you partner with the correct vendor, okay, that meets the needs of your organization. Very important ang after sales when you do automation in your organization, especially if you're employing a specific app or system to help you in your HR process. Okay, vendor reliability. Okay, now compliance challenges, of course. Okay, need to adhere to labor laws. Okay. One of the things also that you need to take into consideration, probably not as a challenge, is the user experience. When people use the app or the system, they should be happy using it. They should feel that the system really helps them improve their ways of working and that they are more efficient when they're using this system. One of the things that you don't want to hear when you roll out your automation system is, ano ba ito? Lalong pahirap sa buhay. Napaka-komplikado naman. Ang hirap-hirap namang sundan. We don't want to hear those types of testimonies and feedback when we roll out our automation systems. Poorly designed automation interfaces can lead to frustration among employees and HR professionals, leading to a lot of dissatisfaction. So instead of, enhancing employee engagement, okay, this now becomes a burden for your employee engagement manager to manage, because it's now adversely proportional to your initial goal. Okay, so we need to ensure that it's crucial, okay, to have a user-friendly experience when you roll out your automation journey. Okay. Of course, measuring your return of investment is a leadership requirement, okay, that your Mancom or your Execom will have to ask from you as an HR leader or HR manager driving the automation journey. Determining the return on investment for HR automation initiatives may be challenging, particularly in terms of quantifying the impact on employee satisfaction and performance. That's why part of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is, okay, so we're now automating. Okay, so management has asked us to present what kind of automation journey we want to have. The more important question is for managers or directors like me or Execom, no? So how does this intervention, how do we know that this intervention, okay, is successful? Okay, given, everything that you have presented, what are the measures of success? Okay, now, the measure of success, okay, comes after this slide. Can we go to the measure of success first? Okay, so the measures of success when you implement HR automation in relation to employee experience is crucial to evaluate the impact of these initiatives on the workforce. Okay, now here are some of the suggested metrics and methods for you to use so that you can justify, okay, and you can measure the success of your automation intervention. First and foremost, the employee satisfaction survey will tell you how the employee index reacts to your automation intervention. Now, you can conduct regular satisfaction surveys to gather feedback. You ask specific questions, related to the ease of use of self-service portals, okay, and the efficiency of HR responses. Kasi you promised a better turnaround time. So employees will now tell you, okay, this is like a 360 feedback, and if automation has actually helped you lower down your turnaround time. Okay, you monitor trends in employee satisfaction scores over time, and you look at metrics like employee retention, participation in training, etc. Okay, as part of your metrics. Okay, now you have to correlate changes in engagement with the timing, of course, of your automation initiatives. Now, another one that you can look at is your efficiency and productivity metrics. This, of course, is different from one organization to the other. The banana industry is very stringent on efficiency and productivity metrics, no? Because always in the banana industry, we measure our productivity with a cost per box, okay? Volume plays a significant role in the banana industry. However, it is really the cost per box when we import this to our markets that matter the most. Okay, accuracy and error reduction. There are a lot of ways to measure accuracy and error reduction. One of those is, of course, the decrease in your grievance numbers or your suggestion boxes. Okay, now response and resolution time. okay, as I mentioned in your turnaround time. Recruitment and onboarding metrics is also one of the ways that you can measure success of automation if you have implemented automation for your onboarding. Okay, how long did the onboarding take? What is the comprehension level, for example, of the new hire versus, manual onboarding, okay, or automated onboarding. Now, one of the things that are probably most tangible to measure, okay, the success of your automation with is your training and development participation. Okay, you can assess the participation rates in training and development programs, and the increased participation indicates that employees are more engaged and willing to invest in their own growth and development. One of the things that I've always used, as a tool when engaging with people is really to be more collaborative. When drafting a learning management journey for them, it's important to involve them. Why? Hindi nila babarilin kung ano yung sinuggest nila with you. If it's a collaborative effort that you did, okay, they will not question anything about that because they were part, okay? They were part of that process in crafting that journey that they will have to go to. Now, this elevates, of course, employee engagement because you have collaborated with them, and this gives them more anticipation to finish, their learning management journey. Now, retention and turnover rates is also one of the things that you can look at to measure the success of your automation journey. Okay, feedback and testimonials, very, very important. I would suggest that you do FGD, for example, after you roll out whatever automation intervention you want to use after considerable time, of course, and really zero in and be more purposeful when asking your questions. Okay. Now, it's also very important to benchmark against industry standards. We know that everybody has, of course, data on their competitors, but one of the things that we look out for, especially in Dole, is the automation capacity, okay, of our of our competitors. Okay, banana industry is very manual. It's a very laborious type of industry. However, when we try to be more efficient, okay, and productive, we try to anchor it on how can we automate work in the farm. Okay. Now let's go through implementation tips, please. Okay. Now, when implementing your automation, here are some of the things that probably you can do to ensure that there is smooth implementation of your automation journey. Number one, you have to define your objectives. You have to start by identifying the specific HR process you want to automate and set clear objectives for automation. Sometimes a lot of people over-automate. Okay, when I say over-automate, a lot of people want to automate all the HR processes at the same time. Now, you can do that if you have enough manpower that you work with, you have enough budget to work with. But if you're a medium to small type of corporation, I guess we can, do baby steps with your automation journey, starting with the most important HR process that you would want to automate, because essentially automation will help you become more productive and efficient. Okay, so you have to define your objectives. That's very, very important. You also have to conduct process audit. Okay, now you have to review existing HR processes to understand their current state and what inefficiencies these processes bring to HR. We have to identify bottlenecks and areas where automation can provide the most significant benefits. Okay, now I think that's very self-explanatory. Now, one of the things that we need also to incorporate, okay, and do, okay, when we implement is to involve key stakeholders when selecting the right software. A lot of corporations do automation, and yet it's very constricted to the department doing it. Okay. I remember my coach and my mentor telling me, Shao, when you do automation, it should be HR-led, not IT-led. But you have to make sure you collaborate with IT because you cannot do this alone. Okay, so choose an HR automation software that aligns with your objective and the needs of your organization. We have to consider factors like, scalability, is this user-friendly, okay, compliance with data, and the more important thing is collaborate with HR professionals, other HR professionals, employees from other departments that are directly affected by the process you plan to automate. Their input can help in system selection and customization. In Dole, for example, because we're a global company, we're an MNC, and I belong to, of course, the Asia Pacific group, when we do regional meetings and there is an automation rollout, we're very collaborative when it comes to things like this because we have to make sure that our system here in Davao, in Mindanao operations, for example, are aligned with what Thailand is using, what Vietnam is using, okay? What the cannery in Polomolok, the one where the pineapples come from, is also aligned. Now, there is an automation rollout coming out again, and I'm currently working with our cannery group in Polomolok and Dole, Thailand, okay? So those are some of the things that you need to do. You need to collaborate, okay? Now, when you do ROI assessment, you have to regularly assess the return on investment of your HR automation initiatives. Consider both the cost savings and improvements in employee experience. Okay. So when we did ROI assessment of the automation rollout, okay, we had to cover it on a periodic, basis. Okay. Now, I mentioned change management already before. You have to prepare your employees for the change by providing training and clear communication about the benefits of automation. One of the things that we're very careful at with Dole is when we roll out big changes in the company, we're very sensitive about how people feel about this, okay? So a lot of questions coming from automation rollout is, will this replace me? Okay, a lot of people become nervous and apprehensive when rolling out automation because they think that automation eventually will replace the human factor, okay, in work. But that is not the case. Automation should complement and supplement whatever you have in HR already to become, again, more productive, more agile, and more efficient, okay? Now, measurement and analysis defines, key performance measures that you have to automate HR processes and employee satisfaction. You have to continuously analyze the data to assess the success, okay, of your automation initiatives, okay? So, in closing, let me just share with you that the impact of automating HR processes on employee experience is undeniable and really transformative. By embracing automation in HR, organizations have the potential to create a more efficient, accurate, and engaging work environment for their employees. Automation also streamlines and simplifies routine tasks, okay? Now, this leads to increased productivity, allowing employees to focus on more meaningful and strategic work, thus enhancing their job satisfaction. Furthermore, automation empowers employees by offering self-service capabilities for tasks, like accessing, updating personal information, managing benefits, etc. The shift towards self-service not only improves the employee experience, okay, but also fosters a sense of ownership and control over HR-related matters, okay? Organizations can ensure faster response times, okay, to employee inquiries. I guess this is the most important when you do your automation journey as a buy-in, reduce frustration, and improve communication. Okay. Automation also facilitates smoother onboarding experiences, minimizes errors, okay, and supports better work balance. However, this is very important. It is important to recognize that automation should not replace the human touch in HR interaction. Over automation can lead to a lack of personalization, okay? Now, it is crucial for employee satisfaction when you do a personal one-on-one, okay? People still want that personal touch, okay, when you engage with them. Therefore, the successful automation of HR processes is about striking the right balance between efficiency and the human element. We just recently finished our HR summit, and one of our speakers said, and this resonated with me, wouldn't you wish that you had more time speaking to people, speaking with people, connecting with them, rather than being tied down to processes that are not automated? You see, automation should help you, okay, in your HR process and not burden you, okay? So, in summary, automating HR processes, of course, enhances employee experience by number one, simplifying workflows, enabling self-service, providing data-driven insights, and offering a more efficient and responsive HR environment. Now, the result is a more engaged, satisfied, and empowered workforce, contributing to the overall success of both employees and the organization as a whole. As organizations continue to leverage automation, they open up to new opportunities to enhance the employee experience and drive positive change in the workforce. Okay, so let me share with you, okay, some of the apps or systems that you can use in automation. Number one, of course, is Sprout Solutions. Okay, currently we're also looking at working with either Workday or SuccessFactors, no? But there are a lot more, okay, aside from all of these that are mentioned here, that you can use when you do your automation. So again, let me just stress that your automation journey should coincide, okay, with the goals of your company, of your organization, okay, and it should be tailored fit to what it is that you need, okay, in your group. Okay, so a lot more numbers will be presented by my co-speaker, Attorney Arlene, okay, so that everybody can better understand, no, the impact naman of real life cases of enhancing employee engagement experience through automation. So that's it for me. Thank you very much to everyone, and I'd be happy to answer your questions later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Sharon, for a very insightful presentation. It was very interesting to hear about the best practices and tailored fit solutions of Dole Philippines. And I hope our audience today was able to get insights that they can replicate in their own organizations. We really appreciate your points regarding the challenges of manual HR practices and how each one is solvable. And once solved, will be very beneficial for an organization, particularly, of course, the experience of their employees. But of course, not without the change management challenges. To be able to overcome these challenges, there's a need for a solution that's a good after-sales service, can meet your needs, and is user-friendly. And let us remember, guys, what Ms. Sharon mentioned earlier, automation should help you with the HR processes and not burden you. Again, thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. On that note, guys, I'd like to invite you to download the ultimate guide to HR automation by scanning the QR code on the screen. So this free guide will help you address those challenges that was mentioned earlier and drive success in your workplace with operational efficiency and excellence, saving you time, money, and resources. In this ebook, you'll also learn about the roadmap to help you begin your HR automation journey and discover its business benefits. Again, scan the QR code and download your copy. Yeah, the link I believe was also shared in the chat box. So I hope everyone was able to download this very helpful ebook. Again, guys, we invite everyone to put in your questions on the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen, and we will try to address as many as we can later on. Okay, now let's continue to our last speaker. With a 13-year background in the field, she is experienced in handling all facets of the HR life cycle locally and overseas. She is an ISO 27001 certified lead auditor, 2 Vineland certified data protection officer, and has earned her Green Belt Six Sigma certification. As a lawyer, she specializes in labor, civil, and commercial law. Let us all welcome the Chief People and Customer Officer of Sprout Solutions, Attorney Arlene De Castro.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Can I see in the chat? Like, how are you guys? Are you still alive? Okay, yan. So sabi nila they're good and that the topic today is very insightful. Thanks to Miss Sharon. So, we're very happy because Miss Sharon and Dole has been a client of Sprout for the longest time, and I appreciate the insights that she shared earlier. And one of my key takeaways there is really for employers to really find the right partner for the role and actually have the automation partner to have really good after sales support. And so I hope that it's what Sprout will be able to do, and I'm here to really tell you more about the employee experience that our clients has been telling about, and also internally what we've been experiencing in Sprout. But before that, let's have a mini survey first. So I want you guys to go to menti.com and enter the code 15050951. And hello, Marjorie from South Cotabato. Okay, so sige guys, let's go to menti.com and type in the code 15050951. Ayan, we currently have 5. Sige, padamihin lang natin kasi this is more of a survey. And hi, Jamel from Cebu. Yan, dumadami na ang participants natin. Okay, we're currently at 27. Siguro we cap at 50. We can start the survey. Ayan, 52 na pala. Marami. Ayan. Okay, 60, dumadami pa, so I won't stop pa muna kasi medyo madaming sumasali. Yan, hello from Pampanga. Ang dami pala natin from the different parts of the Philippines. That's really good to hear. Okay, so I think we're ready to join, and for the others, you can join naman while we do this survey. So let's start. Okay, for the first question, what is your understanding of employee experience? Yan, so may nagsabi, retention. Yan, I mean, marami actually ibang interpretation dyan. So yung employee experience, sometimes sinasabi satisfaction, sometimes happiness, sometimes engagement, yan, growth, job satisfaction, promotions, nagsasabi patience, yan, motivation, correct. So yan, tama naman lahat ng sinabi ninyo. But I'm here to really tell you that there's really a big difference between engagement and employee satisfaction. Kasi in employee satisfaction, you can have a really satisfied employee in your employee satisfaction surveys, no? They can really do their job, let's say from 9 to 5, but then they wouldn't be engaged. Kasi employee satisfaction is really tied up to what they think about the organization. Like are they doing their jobs correctly, or do they like how the managers or management is treating them? But employee engagement is really that emotional connection or that emotional sense of how the employees really feel about the organization. So it's more like nandito na papasok yung kaya ba nilang mag-go out of the box or go beyond their comfort zones for the employees? Kaya ba nila no magkaroon ng sense of fulfillment sa companies nila. Kasi that's really what employee experience is all about. So gone are the days yung traditional HR na all about compliance, pero now it's all about employee experience. Okay, so thank you for the answers. Ang gaganda ng answers nyo. There's really culture, growth and motivation, career growth, employee retention, etc. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What are your challenges in doing things manually in HR? Yan, sige, let's see your answers. Ano ba yung mga challenges nyo when you do things manually? Okay, very good, no? So tama yan, it's time consuming, prone to errors, data accuracy, human error, mga payroll, yan, lahat puro errors. Kasi when you do things manually, just like what Ms. Sharon says, no, yung accuracy niyan talagang hindi mo mag-guarantee. Unlike pag automated, wala nang human intervention mostly dyan. Kaya mas hindi na kayo makakamiss ng deadlines and hindi na rin masyadong time consuming and hindi na rin masyadong error prone on the part of the HR professional. Yan, okay. Sige, let's move on to the next question. Okay, and then if you haven't automated your HR processes yet, what is most likely the reason? Yan, budget. Yan, lahat nagsasabi budget, budget, budget. And tama yan, no? So actually in a study that Sprout conducted, what we found out is that gusto naman ng lahat mag-digital transformation. Kahit na yung mga old companies, they really want to do this. But the problem is wala silang budget. But actually, hindi lang budget yung problema eh. It's more of management buy-in. Kasi ang nangyayari, hindi alam or hindi nakikita nung management or nung senior leaders kung ano ba talagang benefit nito. And so later, maybe explain ko sa inyo how to turn this around from an HR perspective. Okay. And then next question, which is the last question. What do you think are the benefits of HR automation? Ang daming sinabi kanina ni Ms. Sharon dyan. Sabi niya, efficiency, which I highly agree, no? Meron din siya sinabing cost saving. Pwede rin. Saves time. Yan. More time, easy work process, accuracy. So yan. So tama lahat ng mga responses nyo and thank you for those. It really gave me a better picture of what you guys are going through on a daily basis. Kasi these are the same things that I have gone through before when I was doing things manually. And also some of the things that our current clients have experienced. That's why we have made this ecosystem of products. But, I'd like to mention that, like Sprout's North Star has really been to impact the lives of every Filipino by improving businesses here in the Philippines. And what better way to impact the organization by automation or digital transformation. Kanina nga may nakita kong question sa chat, like ano po ba yung difference ng digitization sa digitalization? So I'm here to answer that, no, because it's in line with our topic. Yung digitization, this is really the conversion lang of records. So, i-convert mo yan, parang it's more like a thing of the past. Like, dati wala tayong computer, so ngayon i-record mo na siya sa, let's say, sa Excel. And then, yung digitalization naman is different because it's really part of the developing of the processes, part of the recording of the data, and also like the changing of the workflows to improve your life. So parang yun yung current or present state ng HR natin. Kasi most, if not a big chunk of the HR professionals now are really gunning towards HR automation. So yan yung digitalization. But of course, the future is for us to be mature digitally. And yun yung tinatawag natin na digital transformation. Okay, so now I'm ready for my slides. Okay, so to start, I really want to say that employee experience automated, no? Yan nga yung sinasabi natin kanina kasi the shift from manual to automation is really just the first step. And think of it more like as a video game. Diba when we play video games, we're always looking forward to what's next, and what's next. So once we cleared the first part of the video game, ano na yan, sabi natin, oy, okay na. Sa second step, meron ng mangyayari. And it's somehow linked itong HR automation, it's somehow linked to the step-by-step or like more like a video game, no? In Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, next slide please. So sa Maslow's hierarchy of needs kasi, makikita natin, di ba, there are different stages. So yung first stage is the physiological needs, which is the basic needs of man. So ano ba itong mga basic needs? These are, let's say, these are food, shelter, clothing, and translated into HR parlance, this would be like, okay, I'm going to work because I need the money for me to have food on the table, for me to have clothing, and for me to go to sleep at night peacefully. Yun. So yun yung physiological needs. And dapat it's the most basic thing na nagagawa yan ng organization for the employee. So kapag na-meet yung physiological needs of man from the very start, the next step naman is safety needs. Ano naman tong safety needs? Yung safety needs natin translated into the HR parlance in an organization. This is really the need for, let's say, oh, I need emotional safety in the workplace. Walang politika. Kailangan, meron akong physical safety that when I go to work, sobrang wala akong iniisip na maaaksidente ako. So dyan papasok yung workplace safety or dyan papasok yung health and safety. So yan yung second stage, no? And then the third stage is love and belongingness. Sabi ni Maslow, common need ng man yan because no man is an island nga naman. So ano naman translated into HR parlance? Ano naman kayang mga facets ito? Can you type in the chat? Like what facets in HR that would constitute yung need natin for love and belongingness? Okay, so itong mga to, I'd give the answer. So this one would involve, let's say, employee engagement or employee satisfaction. Diyan papasok yan. And then the next step is really esteem, no? So sa esteem, dito papasok yung pride towards their work. Yung pride towards their work, parang sinasabi kasi ni Maslow, kailangan masaya ka sa ginagawa mo and kailangan lahat ng ginagawa mo nare-recognize. Yun yung sinasabi. And dyan papasok yung employee recognition, rewards, and yung mga ginagawa nyo in order, let's say, to promote employees, dyan papasok yun. And that would all eventually lead to self-actualization. Yung self-actualization, that is the end goal of it all. Kaya nga, di ba before, ang tawag sa atin HR professionals. Ngayon, actually, nagbabago na siya eh. And I'm not sure if you guys are practicing it. Ngayon, we are called people operations managers or let's say people experience managers kasi there is really a shift now. And you know, I really like the sound of it better, to be honest, no? I really like na people yan or people experience kasi HR is no longer tied up to the traditional, which is just compliance, health and safety. Ngayon, pinapakita natin na employee experience as a whole, kailangan na siya. So, kasi before nga, sabi natin it's an employer-centric world. Pero ngayon kasi, di ba, it's all about the people. Yan. Tama si Junel, awards and given token to the employees yan. Part yan lahat ng employee experience. And yun nga, yung people experience kasi it's much more friendlier. And dito talaga, ito yung nagiging driving force of why employees stay in the company. Kaya kailangan, hindi lang tayo mag-focus on the traditional or on the functional side of HR, but on the emotional side of HR. So yun yung medyo gist of my topic today, which is on the emotional side of HR. Kasi automation, ang dami-dami naman nating pwedeng i-automate. Next slide, please. Ang dami-dami nating pwedeng i-automate eh. Pero saan ba tayo mag-uumpisa? How do we know or how do you guys know na tama yung ginagawa ninyo in terms of automation kung wala pa kayo, 'di ba? So sabi ni Miss Leia, yes, ganyan pinapatipad ko sa amin para hindi sila matakot sa HR. That's correct, no? So like right now the trend in HR leadership is really humble leadership. It's not like matatakot yung employee sa inyo but more of on the friendlier approach para makita nyo how they really do in an organization. So I'd like to share the Sprout ecosystem, and I think one of the advantages of the lalo na daw pag maabutan ng NTE, no? Yan. So the Sprout ecosystem, we're actually the first platform, HR platform for the future of work. And I think what really sets us apart is really that we are an end-to-end software provider. So we're the largest currently. We're number one SaaS in the Philippines in terms of MRR. We have over 2,000 plus clients, and we have about 200 plus thousand in our system. So ganun na kalaki si Sprout. And nung inception nito, medyo maliit pa eh. Like I've been with Sprout for 5 years, and nakita ko talaga yung growth ng company. And one of the reasons why clients love us really is because of the after sales support. So anyway, saan ba magsa-start? Syempre, you start with the most basic. Ask your organization or ask yourselves this question. What are my top 3 pain points currently in the HR sphere muna? So kunyari, sabi niya, okay, admin work, let's say recruitment, and let's say performance management, no? Yes, kunyari yun yung yun yung top 3 pain points nyo. So you focus on that first kasi you can't do everything in one go. Pero of course, you'd have to also take out that HR self in you and really apply it to the organization. Ano ba naman yung overall organizational goals? Ano ba yung vision ng company? Kasama ba yung digital transformation dyan? Or hindi? Kasi kung hindi, baka hindi kayo magkakaroon ng management buy-in. Kaya nga yung mga HR na nakakausap ko, yung mga clients namin, they really say, oh, you know what, we really change the culture and we really change the mission vision of the company to include digital transformation. Kasi kung wala kayong buy-in from the top, from the bottom, lalo na kung traditional company pa, no, na matatanda yung employees, syempre magkakaroon talaga ng resistance. So kailangan ng buy-in from top to bottom and from bottom to the top. So yun, so one of the ways for you to do it is really through constant communication, open communication, tama si Joyce, and also getting that buy-in through changing your mission vision, your values to include digital transformation in the workplace. Okay, so saan magsa-start? Punta muna tayo sa functional side of HR. Ito diba sabi ko dalawa yan eh, the functional and the emotional side. Punta tayo sa functional side. So magsa-start siya sa HR administration. So I'm sure lahat kayo naka-experience na ano ba yan, manual ko lahat to ginagawa. Yung mga 201 files, kalat-kalat, physical files pa ang nakalagay. Kasi, well, meron din namang requirements si DOLE to keep records for 5 years, no? And then financial transactions for 10 years. Pero, hindi, sometimes, dahil nga physically nyo sinustore ang daming admin work, it takes you a lot of time and effort. And then hindi lang yon, other admin work would really be, oh, pupunta sa inyo yung HR or yung mga employees and sasabihin, ma'am, ilan na po ba yung leaves namin? Sino sa inyo yung ganun pa rin ang sistema? And then kayo naman, compute kayo kasi every month nagbabago yon, di ba? Lalo na kung prorated. Yan. So, maybe that's the first step that you need to figure out. Yung functional muna. Kailangan yung functional side ng HR is maayos. And that's where the Sprout HRIS comes into play. Ayan, si Michelle siya daw. Yun. So, sa Sprout HRIS natin, which is the HR administration portal, automated na yung attendance. And what's good about the system is that it speaks to different products in one system lang. Kasi, ang hirap-hirap nung may HRIS ka nga, pero yung payroll mo iba nagra-run, yung engagement software mo iba, yung performance plus system mo iba. So nalilito rin yung employee. So yung user interface niyan and yung user experience magiging mababa. Yan. So, and then, kaya tinatanong ni Miss Leia, so how po para madali? Yan. Yun sa normal naman sa isang HR system na automated na lahat ng leaves. Yan. Like with Sprout, automated ang leaves. So, yung leave conversions, hindi nila tinatanong yan sa HR. Pupunta na lang sila dun sa employee access nila and then titignan nila, okay, ito na pala yung leaves ko. And then dun na rin sila yung sinasabi ni Ms. Sharon kanina na self-onboarding, sila na mismo maggagawa nun. Mag-a-apply sila through the system. And you know, kapag ginagawa nila yun, tapos yung approval, nakikita nila agad-agad. They don't have to follow up with anyone and all. It gives them a sense of pride na parang, oh, okay, ang dali lang pala. You know, and you know, management really takes care of me with the simple things, ha? Yan. Kasi kapag delayed yung mga responses natin, Kahit na may SLA pa tayo, kunyari magtanong lang sila, very simple. Ma'am, ano po ba, ilan na ba yung absent ko? Ganyan. Or magkano ba yung gagast or magkano ba yung babayad sa akin sa tax credit or refund? Kung tatanungin pa kayo isa-isa niyan, syempre ang dami magtatanong sa inyo. That would take a lot of time on your part. And sa kanila, ano ba naman tong HR na to, ang babagal? 'Di ba? I mean, aminin natin, ganyan talaga yung tingin sa atin as HR professionals. Yan, daming tumatawa. Kasi ganun talaga eh. That's the reality of it. HR is really a thankless job, number one. And this is really a vocation or a calling. Lalo na if you're doing things manually. Napakahirap, tapos kayo yung kaaway ng employee when in fact kayo naman yung nagbibigay talaga or tayo naman talaga yung nagbibigay ng lahat for them. We give our all. Yon. Kaya nga, if you don't want to get the blame, mag-automation kayo kasi hindi na sa inyo dadaan yon, doon na sa system. Okay, so that's yung HR part, no? And then of course, the payroll. So syempre, kapag may attendance, automatic na yan pupunta doon sa payroll module. Kaya hindi na yung manually ginagawa yung payroll. And ang mahirap kasi sa payroll, yung mga government mandated na mga contributions natin, like in BIR, in SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, nag-iiba-iba yan. Nag-iiba-iba, and then pag nag-iiba-iba, syempre kailangan mo manually gawin din yan. With the Sprout system, automatic na siya. It's automated, and ang payroll accuracy here is 99.95%. So yun yung medyo maganda sa Sprout kasi yun yung promise niya na 99.95% ang accuracy ng payroll system. Now, I want you guys to really think about this. Like currently, what is the payroll accuracy, or like how many disputes are you getting on a monthly basis? Yan, i-measure nyo yan. I-measure nyo yan, and then kung kunyari masyado ng mataas, let's say, okay, we are getting, let's say, 10%. Mataas ang 10%, ha? Yes, automatic malalaman if may error sa system. Yes po, Sir Jomel. And then, are there instances na nag-down ang system? Then, if down siya, meron ba backup? Actually, ang promise ni Sprout is 99.98% uptime. So, hindi, may 0.2% lang yon. Pero, ano naman siya, nababackup naman siya. Kasi yung disaster recovery namin, dalawa naman yon. So, hindi siya like, kapag ginawa niyo, mawawala yung ginagawa ninyo. So that's how it works, no? Just to answer yung question. But we're not running offline, Miss Maria. Everything is online, okay, for the payroll system. So yun, so very important for us na yung experience ng employees in relation to payroll. Kasi number one, it's linked to compliance eh. Ano ba yung mga number one causes bakit number one cause kung bakit nagdodole ang isang empleyado? Nagdodole yan kasi hindi siya masaya sa sistema ng kumpanya, 'di ba? So it's a risk if you're unable to run payroll efficiently kasi you are talking about the bread and butter of the people. Like, why are they working for you? Number one talaga is the pay. So hindi pwede na ito ay mali. Kaya sabi ko nga, focus on the functional side muna. Kung hindi ito maayos, kailangan dito kayo mag-start. Okay? So yung payroll, yon, for instance, pupunta sa DOLE, ay mali po yung payment ng government contributions ko and all. Yan, masosolve na yan sa Sprout Payroll. And then you have the mobile. Yung mobile naman, mobile is really, mobile is an app na pwede nyo gamitin through the mobile phone. And, sorry, may nagtatanong, do you want me to speak in pure English? Okay lang din naman. Sige. So maybe I'll talk in English na lang for the benefit of people who are outside Metro Manila. So mobile, what happens here is, if you're familiar with Grab, the Grab app, so yes, Sir Jomel, we can cater up to 100. Actually, we have clients on the 15,000 range. So we can cater definitely the 100 mark. And so, like with mobile, there's a geo-tagging and the geo-fencing feature. And what it does is you'd know where your employees are at any given time, or when they're logging in and where they're logging in at the exact time. So this is very useful for companies or industries that are in let's say field work, or let's say those employees who are in different places always at the same time. So yeah, napakaganda niyang mobile app. And then we have Insight. With Insight, what it does is it provides you with real-time analytics. So one of the problems that I have previously was that, oh my gosh, I have a report again to upper management, and they're asking me like how much was payroll, how much time was spent on this, or like very simple, like what's the demographics of the company, like is it how many percent are male, how many percent are in this division, etc. And normally I'd run it like the whole day to make that report, but with Sprout Insight, it's really just one click of a finger. And it saves you time, it also saves you cost, because you're able to do strategic work na hindi na kailangan ng ibang ng more resources for you to craft, let's say, a PowerPoint presentation, because it's already in the system. And then, ito naman yung Performance Plus. So Performance Plus, this is the performance management system of Sprout. And again, what's good about this system is that this is already embedded within the Sprout ecosystem. So one login lang yan. This is just a single login, and then you can have all of these products in one. So with Performance Plus, Miss Sharon was mentioning earlier about, let's say, career planning and succession. And one of the hardships of not having a automated performance management system is this. Because you're doing things in Excel, let's say. I don't have time to do the performance management kasi I have too much on my plate. That's normally what you would hear from the managers. With an automated performance management system, the system would be the one to really, in Tagalog parlance, mangulit dun sa mga tao, hindi na yung HR. And this works well for me because yung system would tell the managers and the employees, okay, you need to do this, otherwise you will get this. So you can customize your wordings around this para talaga you can get 100% compliance or 100% participation rate from your employees. So that's the beauty of Performance Plus, no? And then other than that, part of the performance management system is really the learning and development. So there's a learning and development module embedded in the system already, na that's tied up to, let's say, poor performance. So let's say an employee is not performing, or let's say in a scale of 1 to 5, her rating is 3.5. That rating would automatically trigger the system in the learning management system to look at what trainings this person can get in order to improve, for this person to improve, no? And so your performance improvement plan, pasok na yan dyan. Dyan yun na ilalagay yung performance improvement plan nyo. And if kinuha niya yung training, what's the effect? And if after 1 month, what's the effect? Yan, doon na siya papasok. And that's why I've also used this tool for my employee and labor relations. So every time there's an employee who's not performing or who's not really good in terms of the core values, kasi 'di ba in a balanced scorecard, you have the core values, you have the attendance, and you have the work performance. Ang best practice nga dyan kapag sa managerial and up, mas mataas yung core values part, because that's really how they should be measured, because their position is a position of trust and confidence. So with the Performance Plus system, you're able to already dictate like, okay, what is wrong or what is missing, and what can be improved with the employee. And you're able to do career development plans, career goals for your employees, and you'd also need, or you can also craft a succession plan for this. And the maganda rin dito sa system na to, it's already embedded with insights already. So sometimes, and I'm sure you can relate to this, managers would have a different rating. So kunyari, itong manager na to mataas magbigay ng grade, the other manager mababa. So in Performance Plus module, we have the capability to have a bell curve. So sasabihin na sa iyo ng system yon, okay, itong manager na to napapansin ko na trend na medyo mababa yung mga rating. And so i-adjust niya yon accordingly. So may bell curve. So kaya napaka-powerful ng tool na to inside the system. And of course, we have the recruitment module, no? And recruitment, we are tied up with a company called Manatal. And what Manatal does, this is already AI-driven. FYI, so Sprout has acquired Aya, which is the AI system ng Sprout ngayon. So Sprout is now AI-enabled. And in terms of recruitment, yung Manatal, they also have AI-enabled features. And yung sa recruitment, normally, when I was starting out, my problem was yung posting ng different job positions in one go, walang functionality na ganon. With this product, meron siyang feature to really post in one go. So it saves a lot of time. And also, yung candidate matching. So AI powered na siya. So yung candidate matching, medyo ano na siya, medyo maganda or hindi na mabilis. Kasi like with Sprout internally, I can give you the numbers, no? 1,000 resumes is equivalent to one hire because we're very selective in our hiring. Because we really make sure na kailangan when you're in Sprout, you really are like not naman cream of the crop, but you're fit in the values, you're fit as a person, not only in terms of skill but also in terms of your emotional connection with the company. So this tool really helped us to really streamline that process. And yung applicant tracking system namin, meron na ngayon, which we used to do manually lang. So this is really a big help for companies, itong recruitment system na to. And then next one is Pulse. So I have a question for you guys. How do you measure employee engagement or employee satisfaction with your company? Or are you measuring it? Yun siguro ang tanong, no? Are you really measuring it? So with Sprout, what we do is we have this feature called Sprout Pulse. Actually, maganda to. Meron kaming feature sa Sprout HR that could ask on a daily basis the employees. Free lang to eh. And yung tanong to, how are you feeling today? Yon. And then, meron siyang 1 to 5 scale. Yan. Tapos may smiley face, may sad face. Yan. And then, kapag yon, ang gandang engagement tool nun, kasi the HR business partners, what they do is, kapag kunyari nakakakita na sila ng trend, when they see a trend na, consistently malungkot na tong taong to, we call them, hey, what's going on? How are you? Why are you feeling sad? Anong problema? May magagawa ba kami to help you? And what it does is it impacts yung employee happiness. No? Say, the HR really cares for me. Kasi they really care about my well-being pala. Yan. And normally, these people na sad, stressed, ang normal causes niyan are burnout, or let's say family problems. And kaya yung ginagamit namin dyan na feature is yung Sprout Wellness. Yung Sprout Wellness, this is our response to the Mental Health Act of the Philippines. Di ba po, I'm not sure if you guys know, but there's a policy or a law that mandates for all companies, regardless of size, to implement a mental health policy and mental health workplace ready na mga programs. And so ito yung response namin dyan. So we have meditation sessions, we have yoga sessions, and we have one-on-one consultation with psychologists and psychiatrists. So normally, kapag na-endorse namin yan sa psychologist or psychiatrist yun, they would thank HR and say, thank you for really taking care of my mental health. And, tama nga na our Sprout is really part of the great place to work in the Philippines. Yun. So, that's really a good example of how you can be of service to your employees in a very simple means through automation. But that's a daily pulse. Meron din tayong tinatawag na surveys on a quarterly basis, no? So, kami, when we do our surveys, we make sure that it is regular. Why is it the case, no? It's like that because you need to see progression. You need to see if what you're implementing is successful. So from the start, so let's say at the start, okay, how are you feeling about the management, or how are you feeling about the overall strategies of the company, about the mission, about the vision. And then let's say hindi maganda yung responses doon, uulitin namin yung next quarter based on the yung mga ginawa na namin in order to help solve whatever the employees are feeling. So, ang nangyayari, actionable insights na siya. Actionable insights is really based from live data na tinatranslate mo yung decisions mo or yung actions mo with that data. Kasi ang hirap nito kung gagawin mo siya via, let's say, yung mga Survey Monkey and all. Mahirap kasi participation rate, number one, is an issue. With Sprout, you can actually mandate it. Bago sila mag-time in, time out sa system, pwedeng hindi sila maka-time in pag hindi sila nagsagot ng survey. Yun. So that's one aspect of Sprout Pulse. And then we have Instacash. Instacash naman is really the financial wellness arm of Sprout. So here, we have a lot of client testimonials that really states na, oh, you know, I really feel that my company values me because they provide emergency loan assistance to us, to the employees. So dito may mga testimonials na kami like, oh, you know, my mother was saved from cancer because I was able to use the cash provided for in Instacash, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the products in the Sprout ecosystem that are automated that you can take advantage of. Again, just ask yourself the question, first functionally muna. Functionally, ano yung mga functional na requirements nyo na hindi nyo pa nami-meet? And then after nung functional, punta na kayo dun sa emotional side. Ano naman yung mga employee engagement tools that are in the system that you don't have yet para matulungan kayo in starting out your digital transformation. And if I may, I'd like to put your attention to the Sprout Digital Maturity Model. So you can visit our Sprout website and then i-assess nyo how digitally mature you are in your organization. So makita nyo na yan, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The end goal is 5, which is the optimized state. So leveling lang yan, just like I said, it's more like a video game. You can't do it all in one go kasi ang implementation, kailangan may change management. So dapat isa-isa lang din naman siya. So don't be too focused on doing things everything at once, one step at a time tayo. Sabi nga sa Atomic Habits, 'di ba? Like yung changes that you do step by step or little by little will really resonate na kapag long term na yan. Makita niyo yung long term effect niyan all in once. Pero small steps makes progress. Yon. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. So last 2023. So yung survey namin was from March to May 2023. And we've surveyed over 400 HR professionals across the Philippines and we've asked them, what's your biggest pain point? So noong 2022, ang sabi nila, recruitment, handling complaints and lawsuits, and compensation and benefits. So this one, more on functional siya, if you've noticed. But 2023, the trend now is employee retention, employee engagement, and recruitment. So more on the emotional side na siya. And why is this? Kasi nagkaroon na ng digital transformation. So majority of the companies now have an HRIS system. So yung mga functional side, medyo na fix na siya eh. Pero yung emotional side, hindi. Bakit ganito? Kasi 'di ba, there's this advent of the Great Resignation. So nung Great Resignation, yan, nag-resign lahat ng tao, pero nagkaroon na rin ng Great Return eh. So bumalik na yung tao to the office. Ngayon, nung bumalik yung tao sa office, medyo may nakasanayan na sila, which is yun nga yung it's either hybrid work arrangement or let's say the full remote work. And so, ang hirap na ngayon mag-retain ng employees, ang hirap na mag-engage ng employees, and ang hirap na mag-hire ng employees. So, now, kaya nga yung mga companies na tapos na sa functional side, tapos na sila, may HRIS na sila, accurate na yung payroll computation nila, hindi pa rin nakaka-retain ng employees. Kasi nga, ngayon, yung emotional side naman ng HR yung kailangan. Kasi right now, what people are clamoring for based on a Maslow's hierarchy of needs, hindi na siya yung functional. Yun doon na pataas na siya, which is the safety, the love and belongingness, the pride, the esteem, and yun nga, yung self-actualization. Nandun na tayo ngayon. Because nung pandemic din, ang daming pandemic epiphanies. Yung mga tao parang, oh, you know, hindi lang pala money ang importante. Importante na rin ngayon yung na gusto ko yung ginagawa ko, na masaya ako sa ginagawa ko kasi life is short. So yan yung naging effect niyan. Kaya yan ngayon, sa 2023, yan na yung mga pain points ng HR ngayon. Okay, next slide please. And then, ito naman yung key HR areas affected by current work arrangement. Dati, engagement, recruitment, and learning and development. Ngayon naman, retention, engagement, and well-being. So, may emphasis ngayon sa employee well-being, which is the mental health nga ng mga tao. So, ask yourself a question like, what mental health policies are you implementing into your organization, and are you doing it automated? Yan, napaka-important niyan. So, yung engagement, ito rin, papasok dyan yung mga rewards and recognition ninyo, and yung retention din, yan, papasok na dyan yung mga strategies nyo on how to keep the employees, and not only recruit, but really how to keep the employees. Okay, next slide, please. And then, top 3 factors for HR success. So, kanina, sabi ni Ms. Sharon, meron siya mga binigay na napakagandang ways to measure success. And sabi niya doon, kailangan may employee satisfaction survey, kailangan may productivity metrics, may resolution time, may retention, para ma-reduce yung frustration ng mga tao. Noong 2022, sabi ng mga HR practitioners, ang top 3 factors daw for HR and success is innovation and technology, engagement and collaboration, and trainings and seminars. Pero ngayon, same pa rin, innovation and technology. So everybody knows talaga na kailangan natin ng digital transformation. Pero ngayon, support from company management kasi nga because of the budget and trainings and seminars. So paano ba natin kukunin tong management buy-in? Kasi normally, HR does not have a seat in the table. Normally, konti lang ang very recent lang naman, maybe past 10 years yung concept ng CHRO. Hindi yan normally nagkakaroon ng seat sa ExCom. But let's say you don't have a seat in ExCom, how do you get management buy-in? And I'd like to say na you can do that by actually giving them the benefits. And hindi lang yung benefits, kasi kailangan nilang maintindihan from a business perspective, from a business perspective and not from an HR perspective. Kasi kayo, syempre, sasabihin nyo, it will help in attrition, it will help in retention and all. Pero how does it translate nga to the business? Diba? So how does it translate? So syempre, bibigyan nyo sila ng numbers. Do you know how to compute the cost of attrition? Do you know how to compute yung cost savings kapag nag-payroll automation kayo? Yan. So, I mean, the automation would not necessarily replace the people, but would make you more efficient. And, they need to understand, like, okay, if I'm freed up, if HR is freed up in this type of scenario, what could you do? Or what could you have done better as an organization? So, yun yung mga ilalatag nyo sa upper management. Kaya, yun ang napaka-importante. You need to say it from a business perspective and not from an HR perspective. Okay? All right. Next slide, please. And then, key findings dito noong 2023, 57.4% attract potential employees with a competitive compensation package. So, number 1 pa rin si compensation ang sinasabi dito. Pero, again, di ba, pabalik tayo dun sa Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Ngayon, hindi na pera-pera eh. Kailangan talaga makikita ng employee na that you value them, because if you take care of your employees, they eventually take care of the company or your organization. So kung meron kayong automated tools, or kung meron kayong tools for engagement, tools for rewards and recognition, tools for performance management, na nakikita talaga nila where they stand in the ladder or how they can achieve their goals within the organization, baka hindi na compensation ang maging primary factor nyo in determining or in really having a good employee experience. And ito rin, 64.8% still rely on manual methods such as spreadsheets to track candidates. So, yung mga functional side, marami pa rin gumagawa na manual. And this is very tedious. Ang effect nito is number 1, from the application process pa lang, no? Pwedeng magkaroon ng negative yung promoter score nyo sa applicants. Yan, kasi 'di ba dapat mini-measure natin yung sa applicants, yung sa employees, yun nga yung sa pag-onboarding pa lang yan. Day one is very important na they really feel na okay yung company na pinasukan nyo. Okay, next slide please. And then ito, key findings. So we have this product. It's a new product and it's called Benchmark. What Benchmark does is it's a tool where you can get real insights talaga from the different industries. So yung job descriptions na standard across, let's say, financial services, and then the job role is account manager. Yan, makikita nyo na ano ba yung standard na job description dyan. And then, makikita nyo rin, okay, ano ba yung average na salaries ng mga tao in this industry? And this is actually based from live data. And what's good about this isn't based from survey, ha? This is really based from live data that we have in Sprout. Of course, it's anonymized. Of course, we got the consent of all the people in terms of their privacy. Kaya hindi nyo naman malalaman kung sino sila. But this is live data that we can share with you. And yun nga, ang key finding namin in 2023 during that period of time is that compensation is less competitive in 2023. So what does this tell us? No? What it tells us is tataas siguro yung retention efforts ng mga companies. And it's actually nagta-tie up siya dun sa kaninang sinabi ko on retention na ngayon ito yung challenge. Kasi siguro yung compensation din is less competitive this year. So ngayon, lipat ng lipat yung company kasi it became open season for everyone. It became open season na madali lang naman ako makatransfer to another company. Kaya ganyan yung nangyayari. Okay. And then, next slide please. And then, ito din, on employee development, 57.1% lang ang nag-offer ng in-house training program. So, currently, halos wala yung learning and development program sa company. This is very risky. Kasi if you don't continuously train, kung wala yung continuous learning on your employees, then wala din. I mean, hindi rin siya kumbaga hindi siya magle-level up or hindi siya mag-i-improve over time. My question here, may I ask what's the rank or level the salary data is based on? So it's based on entry level. So yung mga, let's say sa BPO customer service representatives, yon. And then 56.6% of HR professionals face the challenge of consolidating evaluations. Again, this is tied up with a not automated performance management system. And 54.1% conduct evaluations virtually or face-to-face. So this is also a very important finding, no? Not everyone pala in the organization does performance management, which is shocking for me from an HR perspective kasi like for me, performance management and learning management is core for your employee development. So, marami pa palang hindi ganon. So, we really have to make sure that you have a performance management system in place para hindi kayo later on magugulat bakit ganon yung attrition nyo or retention nyo. Because again, it's tied up with career pathing, it's tied up with succession planning, and it's tied up with retention eventually. All right, next slide, please. And so 31% of HR professionals are willing to adopt and upgrade their digital HR stack. 53% reveal that they're currently exploring various digital transformation strategies, and 46% highlight budget constraints as the biggest barrier for successfully implementing digital transformation initiatives. So again, yan, kung meron tayong calculator sa Sprout website, maybe you can take use of that para ma-justify nyo yung budget. Kasi sometimes, ang iniisip ng top management ay mahal. Yan. But of course, kapag mura naman yan, you get what you pay for, diba? So, i-calculate nyo like ano yung kung ano talaga yung cost, tapos marirealize nyo na yung cost mas mataas pa kapag hindi nyo siya ginawa. Okay, next slide please. And key takeaways from the Sprout 2023 State of HR: employee satisfaction and retention has an impact in the organization, and it is the lifeblood and key drivers for success. And as HR professionals, of course, it's our job not only to focus on the functional but on the emotional side of HR. So employee experience, creating an environment where they feel happy, engaged, and productive. So again, yun nga, kailangan yung HRIS nyo can be transitioned to any working environment. May it be work from home, naka face-to-face kayo, kailangan mag-a-adjust yung HRIS nyo doon. And then, kailangan din daw i-elevate yung compensation and benefits packages. And you can do that through Sprout benchmarking. I-check nyo kung nasaan kayo, mag-salary standardization kayo, mag-salary benchmark kayo using that tool. Foster retention and engagement and development programs, enhance diversity and inclusion efforts, and of course, secure upper management support for digital transformation. Next slide, please. And so ito, I'll give you like examples. These are actual case studies that we have at Sprout, no? So UBX, this is currently a client of ours, and this is the technology arm of Union Bank. And so they have a 205 headcount, they're a technology company, and their pain point, tatlo yung pain point nila eh. So number one, inefficient yung HR admin processes nila. Kasi nga, lahat yung 201 filing nila, it's all done manually. And then yung next na issue nila is the lacking payroll capabilities in the team. So nag-resort sila to payroll outsourcing. And yung Pangit lang talaga sa payroll outsourcing normally, no? You don't have the flexibility and control over what you do or over, let's say, kunyari, meron kayong gustong ipabago, hindi nyo na mapapabago yan. So, nagagalit normally yung mga employees sa inyo and yun nga, kunyari, delayed yung payslip, etc. Yan, nagagalit yung mga employees. And yung pangatlo, yung employee experience. So, dito sa kanila, yung leaves nila, ganun yung process nila previously. Tinatanong pa sa HR, ilan yung leaves namin? And lahat tinatanong. And so, nag-survey sila from start to end before digital transformation, before they got Sprout and after they got Sprout. And we're happy to say na yung result nun was an overwhelming positive response kasi they were able to improve employee experience by 70%. Yeah, so this is the first case study. And then the second case study naman is a company called iFern. Next slide, please. So yung iFern naman, this is, yan. So yung iFern, this is naman a manufacturing company. And yung end result nito is 82.14%. Yan, nag-decrease yung processing time nila from 56 hours to 10 hours. And then 70% ng payroll dispute nila went down. And 9 na yung naging NPS score nila from previously na sobrang baba. So, ito yung maganda talaga with automation. Nakita nyo agad yung result. Kaya nga ang suggestion ko, before you implement something, run a survey to really find out where you stand with your employee in terms of employee experience. And by ending this, I really just want to say, and to echo what Ms. Sharon is saying, automation should really not replace the human touch because everyone is still clamoring for that human intervention. It isn't about replacing people, but really enabling people to focus on what truly matters. And that is the human side of HR. That is on the employee experience. So thank you very much, guys. If you have questions, we're still here to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Arlene. Very insightful presentation as always. It was very interesting to hear about how automation is helpful to satisfy the hierarchy of needs of an employee. And I am also sure our audience found it very helpful that you've shared the first steps towards HR digital transformation. And that is first is to look at your functional needs, and second is to look at the emotional aspect. Also, thank you, Attorney Arlene, for the run-through of the Sprout ecosystem. On that note, let me invite everyone to visit www.sprout.ph to learn more about each solution. Again, thank you very much, Attorney Arlene. So I can see questions coming in on the Q&A tab. If you have any questions for Attorney Arlene or Ms. Sharon, please type them in the Q&A tab and we will address them shortly. We want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get the information you need, so please do not hesitate to ask. But first, we're always looking for ways to improve our webinars, and your feedback is invaluable to us. So we invite everyone to kindly fill out the survey form that will appear on your screen. It will only take 2 minutes to answer, and I assure you that the form is short and easy to complete, and your feedback will help us to make our future webinars even better. So we'll give you some time to answer. Well, we hope that after hearing the presentations, you've gained more insights about improving your employees' experience with the power of automation. And we have heard about challenges of manual HR and the need for tailor-fit solutions to fully benefit from automation. And we have also heard about the different considerations that we have to keep in mind when we start our digital transformation journey. So I'd also like to invite everyone again to download our free ebook entitled The Ultimate Guide to HR Automation, which you can find the link at the chat box. I believe the team will send again the link to the to this free ebook? Okay. So in the Q&A section. So let's go. I guess we can get started. I'm calling in Miss Sharon and Attorney Arlene to address the questions that I will be reading from the Q&A tab. Hi, Attorney, and hi, Miss Sharon.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, is there a question already, Mai?
Yes, there is. So the first question is, how can we address those who doesn't seem to adapt with automation or digitalization? So just to, I believe Ms. Sharon was also able to touch on this earlier. And for context, our question is from an anonymous person, and he says, I know a big manpower agency where there's a high turnover, and most of the reasons was that they don't get paid on time because of the way their payroll or timekeeping is being done. Pag hindi na file or mali ang time in or out, hindi na kasama sa payroll. The next payroll na makukuha after a lot of discussions pa. Would you like to start, Attorney Arlene?
Okay, sure. So actually, again, the problem here is the unwillingness to change, no? And how do you change the mindset of people? And because normally it would come from the top. Yung suggestion would come from you guys as HR professionals, but how do you change the mindset of people from the top? Again, as I've mentioned earlier, you have to also think not on an HR lens, but on a business landscape. So, ipakita nyo sa kanila, ano ba yung magiging cost? Ano ba yung magiging effect nito? So, like this one, this is a big manpower agency. Ang mga effect ng mga hindi pagbayad on time. Number one, retention or attrition. Ano ba yung attrition rate ninyo currently? And if you focus on automation, paano siya mag-improve? Let's say, is it 30% attrition? And then after nun, kapag nag-improve siya, ilang percent na lang. So, or yung goal nyo in that attrition, no? So that's one. And then the second one would really be on the labor component. So given that this is a manpower agency, this is really prone to unions, this is prone to also labor cases and heavy lawsuits na group lawsuits to, no? And so if you're able to really tell the upper management that this is the effect of what you're currently doing, and this is not in any way a fault on our part, but it's really just because of the lack of automation on our company, then definitely baka makinig yan sa inyo. So yun po yung show them like the numbers, run the figures with them, and also tell them the implications legally and also in terms of your compliance with the different agencies. Lalo na Manpower, may POEA certificate yan. So show them like how it can affect the certificates that you guys have.
Yeah. Thank you, Attorney. Would you like to add on that, Ms. Sharon?
I guess the only thing really is when doing a buy-in, it's always what's in it for me. It's human nature to always ask, if I do this, how does it affect me as a person initially? Because you can't take out that human psyche, 'di ba? Na what's in it for me? Okay, yun talaga. Now, if you put it on a larger scale, because you don't want to be granular about it, if you put it on a larger scale, I agree with attorney Arlene. No, I sit on the leadership team of Dole, for example, and every time we actually have a committee on investments. If an amount is this millions already, it has to go through the committee on investments for people to justify this kind of investment. So that's a good thing. That's a mindset that a corporation or organization has to take. Seeing these things, these innovations as investments and not as expenses. Okay, that's the number one thing. Now as HR, you can actually plug in the numbers, for you to be able to be more agile and efficient, as I said, given this intervention that you will have to take. Now, these numbers have to be aligned with your finance. I'd like to touch on that topic also because not a lot of HR have good, I don't know, I heard, have good relations with your finance. You have to be best friends with your finance, especially when doing interventions like this. Okay? Kasi ayaw mo na pagdating sa board meeting or ExCom meeting, finansang unang babaril, di ba? So, you have to make sure that you do your homework before you even go there and present. Okay? Even if you have all of these numbers, if you don't have the buy-in of the more important stakeholders to support your initiative, it will be a very hard climb for you. So, how do you do that for those who cannot adapt yet, who do not adapt yet? Now you have to make sure that you develop relations and they understand the end line, the roadmap of what it is that you want to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Sharon. So it seems like HR automation does not only improve your functional needs, but also can help you avoid compliance risk in terms of like government compliance, and also to be able to fully convince your management about automating, you have to provide the numbers and align with your finance. Okay, thank you very much. And we have a next question. And this was also asked privately to us, so it's also from an anonymous attendee. They ask, how will digitalization improve HR services in comparison to face-to-face engagement? Would you like to start, Ms. Sharon?
Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is, how will digitalization improve HR services in comparison to face-to-face engagements?
Okay, thank you for the wonderful question. Okay. Okay, so all right, so how does automation compare to, like improve HR services comparing to done face-to-face, no? From my take, I'm still old school about this. There's really nothing that can compare to, a personal interaction with somebody. Number one, a lot of things get lost in translation when it's, said from one person to another, etc., right? So, that personal, direct, face-to-face talk will always be the best option for you. Now, what we're saying here is automation can complement or supplement that kind of interaction that you would want to take place. As I mentioned earlier, sabi ko nga, di ba, one of the key takeaways I had in our HR summit, in the Dole HR summit that we had was, instead of you having this one-on-one talk with this person, you're now colluded with a lot of things, that are manual in nature, etc. So it takes away from the more transformational side of HR rather than, you become very transactional. You file the leave, you count the leave, sinasabi nga ni attorney kanina, 'di ba, very manual, 'di ba? Para lang you can respond to what the employees need. But again, taking it from what she mentioned, these are not the things that employees really want nowadays. Okay? To level up the leave, no? To answer that question, for example, how can you be more transformational as an HR using automation when they come to you Instead of them sitting down waiting for 5 minutes because you're still computing, when you do automation, one click and it will tell you how many leaves you have. Now, leveraging that up when you do personal interaction, so why are you taking a leave? Is this a sick leave, for example? You now can draw out information from this person that will help you assist them if ever they need something more from HR. Oh, this person is filing a leave. Why? Is he sick? Is the son sick? Is there a family gathering that's coming up? Oh, wait, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, being married, and stuff like that. And intrinsic information that you get out of this one-on-one talk, supplemented by the time that you should have, spent, computing and manually getting all of this stuff, has actually been helped by the automation journey that you had. So I guess that's one of the tangible examples that I can give you that has, probably helped us in Dole and the other companies that I've been with also.
Okay, if I may dovetail on that.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Maya.
Sharon. So, oh, yes.
Yeah, sige. So if I may dovetail on that, I agree with Ms. Sharon na talagang mas maganda pa rin yung face-to-face. But what digitalization does for non-face-to-face, it married yung needs natin kapag may mga emergency cases. Like noon nga nung nagka-pandemic, no? So we weren't used to being off-site. Pero now, ang effect noon naging output is king. Tapos nung mineasure yung productivity ng face-to-face versus online work, halos pareho lang, at least for most of the companies that or who are our clients, no? So ang nangyari doon, nagkaroon ng different ways or different alternatives in the way we work. And kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na the future of work. So in a way, nag-complement siya. Pero now kasi ang sinasabi ng lahat, ang future of work is still hybrid. So hindi pwedeng tanggalin yung face-to-face interaction. Kasi yung face-to-face interaction na yun, it's what gives the human touch to employees. Kaya nga most of the companies who are operating on a hybrid setup, let's say once a week, magmi-meet pa rin talaga just for bonding, just for engagement, etc. But in line with engagement, during the pandemic nga, we had engagement activities online, and sinasabi ng mga employees, iba pa rin yung physical na nakikita mo yung mga katrabaho mo, etc. So kailangan pa rin talaga ng face-to-face interaction.
Okay. So it seems like HR automation can make you have even more time to make much, much more valuable
Yes.
face-to-face interaction. I see. Okay, we are now down to our final question for this Q&A, and this is very fitting as a way to tie it all together. The question is, in transforming the employee experience, do you have any best practices for change management? Ms. Sharon shared earlier about building relationships, but any other strategies you can share to help our attendees who want to automate HR processes in their company?
Yeah. Okay, maybe I can start answering.
Anyone who want to go for it?
Yeah. So for me,
Okay,
everything
thank you,
should be, you can do a focus group discussion, no? So kasi kailangan nyo nung buy-in nga ng mga tao, ng lahat ng tao. And you have to take into consideration, ano bang part siya? Is it Gen X, Millennials, Baby Boomers, etc.? Ifa-factor nyo yon. And then ifa-factor nyo rin yung, other than the age, ifa-factor nyo rin yung preferences nila in working arrangements. And other than that, ifa-factor nyo rin yung ano ba yung take nila on digital transformation. And so kailangan kasi magkaroon ng shift in mindset. So as I mentioned earlier, companies who wanted the change management, chine-change talaga nila yung mission vision, ini-include nila yung digital transformation, ini-include din nila to sa KPIs nila. Digital transformation, ini-include sa KPIs ng bawat tao. Like, have you done this? Or have you done this tool, etc. And then, other than that, kasama din dapat yung buy-in din ng top management. Kasi yung kailangan manggaling sa taas yung direction. Let's say, hindi kasi manggaling sa taas, it's really just from the middle manager. Magkakaroon ng gap. So, dapat, yun nga, from meron kayong FGD, meron kayong representative from different ranks, from different ages, from different preferences, and then management would be the one to cascade it later on kapag na-approve na siya ng overall employees nyo.
Okay, so for us, no, based on the way we did it here and in the companies that I worked with before, it's really very important to define your objectives. Why do you want to automate? That is the very first step, really, because that will be your North Star, why this automation should take place. And then after you do that, you identify the stakeholders that are most important for you to talk to. Now, this is where building relationships come in, your focus group discussions, and then after you talk to all of these people, I'm telling this step by step, no? After you talk to all of these people, what KPIs, what metrics do you want to use to measure the success of your intervention? Now, all of these have to be cascaded with your key stakeholders. And when I do automation rollout, there's the number one, okay, the number one person I talk to is our IT manager, our IT director. Why? He is the enabling component for me to make sure that this is done properly. After that, I go to finance. Can we afford this? We go to legal. Is there anything that needs to be done, okay, that we have to look out for, especially on data privacy, etc., etc. So having a very concrete, structured, and organized, because this is like this is like a project management thing for you to do as an HR professional. So you have to be really very purposeful and directive on how you do all of these things, okay? And then and only then, if you build up that confidence, okay, and if you build up that study that this is really something that the company needs, you go to your ExCom, you go to your ManCom, and hopefully, because these are members also of your ExCom or your ManCom, the stakeholders you talk to, you get the buy-in already of everyone. So I share attorney's thoughts that nothing will fly without the buy-in of management for any project that people would want to have. So again, basic question, what's in it for me? Diba? So ano ba ang maidudulot niyan sa atin? And your numbers will help you define what is it really that you would want to pursue. Okay, and let's not over automate, very important yan. Sabi nga ni Attorney Arlene, and I mentioned this also, some people are overly excited to do automation and they want to do it all at the same time. Pop quiz, no, it's not done that way. So as I said, define your objectives. What is the most important HR process that you would want to automate that would give you, you can get your low-hanging fruits as soon as you can, okay? So that this will help you, okay, in your daily operations.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Sharon and Attorney Arlene, for a very informative and engaging discussion. We appreciate you sharing your expertise with us today. So, and thank you to all for joining our webinar. We hope you found it helpful, and we'll see you on our next one. Happy weekend, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Sprout. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon.
Thank you, Attorney.